Today, I'm going to show you how to absolutely dominate the Ashlands in Valheim. Let's get to it. There is a ton of info to cover about the Ashlands, so this ultimate guide is going to be broken up into multiple parts. In this first part, you are going to learn everything you need in order to prepare to go to the Ashlands, entering the Ashlands, and how to deal with multiple types of threats that you will encounter while you are there, setting up your first forward operating base, aka a FOB, then moving on to securing a permanent impenetrable base that will serve you for the rest of your time there. So let's start off with talking about your preparations and how to get there. To get there, you are going to need a special ship, a new ship, because the water there is boiling and this is the ship designed in order to get there. In order to craft that ship, you will need the artisan press, which is going to cost you 5 black marble, 5 bronze, 1 majestic carapace, and of course the artisan table has to be nearby because that's what it improves. You get the majestic carapace from defeating the Seeker Queen. This will allow you to make ceramic plates that are made out of black marble, and that is what you need to make the Trakar ship, which will cost you 100 iron nails, 30 ceramic plates, 60 fine wood, 25 of the Yggdrasil wood, and of course you'll need a workbench nearby. Now that you know what you need to get there, let's talk about preparations to get there. Magic dominates this area. You can go over there, go and melee bows, whatever you want to use, but this guide is going to be focused around using magic because magic is absolutely busted over there in the Ashlands and it is extremely strong. You are very difficult to kill and you have the tools to deal with pretty much any situation you run into. So for preparation, I highly advise a full set of max upgraded 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐸 armor, a feathered cape, the staff of protection, the staff of embers, and the staff of frost. You also want to make sure those are maxed out as well. You also want to ensure that your blood magic and elemental magic are somewhere around the mid to high 40s, preferably higher, but at least get them to somewhere around the 40s. That way you can at least provide yourself with a decent amount of protection as well as deal a decent amount of damage. For food, I suggest running a mushroom omelet, the Yggdrasil porridge, and the Seeker aspect. This will give you enough stamina and enough mana to be able to do everything you're going to need to do. Now that you know the build you need to run, let's talk about resource preparation. You want to build 3 portals at your main base because we're going to end up placing 3 portals on our way over there as we work our way in. This is going to help to ensure that if things do go badly, you can easily get back to your gravestone. So you have plenty of storage space on this massive behemoth of a ship. I advise bringing with you 100 stone, 100 wood, enough stuff for 3 portals, which would consist of 30 gray dwarf eyes, 60 fine wood, and 6 surtling cores. On top of that, you are also going to need the resources for at least 1 stonecutter's table, preferably 2, but at least 1, which would be 4 stone, 10 wood, and 2 iron bars. On your person, I would also carry an additional 20 wood. This is so you can quickly and easily slap down workbenches, and I'll explain why you want this later on. Then some mana and health potions, and possibly stamina potions if you struggle with stamina. But being a mage, you shouldn't struggle too much with stamina. Then of course you will need all of the normal tools and your build hammer. Once you have all this, you are now ready to head to the Ashlands. But before you just go heading straight down south to any old location that you can find, let's take a look at how the Ashlands generates so you understand why I'm about to tell you that you need to head for the direct center of the map and head straight down. So while map generation is procedural, there are rules to how it generates, and the Ashlands generation is no exception. I generated multiple maps and it's pretty much the same thing every single time. The bulk of the landmass is always at the center of the map, and then as it generates out from that bulk in the center, you get smaller and smaller islands. So to save you from having to jump on a ship to sail from one island to another, you want to land on the largest landmass possible, as this is going to contain the bulk of everything you're going to need from the Ashlands. So no matter where your base is on the map, you want to head to the center of the map and then head straight down, or as straight down as you possibly can. You will know you are getting close when the water changes color and it begins to get stormy and very rough. You will also see large jagged rocks sticking out from the water. Once you approach those rocks, I highly suggest bringing the sails up and just going into paddle mode. This is going to be much slower, but you're going to be able to navigate these rocks a lot easier. This boat is very difficult to drive. It turns really slow and overall just maneuvers really slow. So you just need to accept that once you see these rocks and you enter the area that they're in, that it's just going to be a slow process getting to the landmass. Now, there are two hostile creatures that you are going to run into in this area, and that is the bone maw serpent and the vultures. Vultures are really easy to deal with. When you see them, just cast your protection bubble. They're going to come to the deck of the ship. When they get on the deck of the ship, just use the Staff of Frost and they will die very quickly. They won't damage the ship too much, so don't worry about that. Honestly, you'll do more damage to the ship if you end up missing them a bunch. So just stay calm, make sure you have your protection bubble up. They can't damage you if you do, and just make sure that you're landing all of your hits. The bone maw serpent is pretty much the exact same situation. If you see one or hear one coming at you, I highly advise just stopping the ship and getting ready to fight it. One of the fastest ways to stop the ship is to get off the helm, run to the center of the ship where the ladders are, just jump off and immediately hit the ladder and jump back onto the ship. When you are off the ship, it will stop dead in its tracks. Now, when you see one of these serpents, you're going to think, oh my gosh, it's going to wreck my ship and I'm going to die and lose everything. That's probably not going to happen unless you really fumble the whole situation. The ship has an extreme amount of hit points and can take an absolute massive beating from the serpent. On top of that, the serpent attacks relatively slow. As you can see on the screen, this whole time I've been playing how long it takes for one of these bone maw serpents to bring down a ship if you're just letting it tear the ship apart. It is a considerable amount of time. All you need to do to fight this thing is ensure, once again, that you have your protection bubble up. You always want to have your protection bubble up, and then just remain calm and use the Staff of Frost on it. It is weak to cold damage as it is wet because it is in the water, and it will take large amounts of damage and die relatively quickly. Now, what about the damage that it's done to your ship? Well, this is the reason I suggest keeping the 20 wood on your person, because you can just swap to your build hammer, and if you are relatively close to any of the jagged rocks, which you are probably going to be because they are pretty much everywhere, it is pretty easy to just place a workbench on the side of one of these jagged rocks because they are actually tiered, and you can place it on the flat surface of the tier and then just repair your ship and continue on. Don't try to get the wood back, leave the workbench where it is and just move on. Once you see land in front of you, you want to stop moving towards it and start moving parallel to it. And you want to look for some jagged rocks that are relatively close, but not super close to the shore. If you can see the stuff spawning on the shore, then you're too close. You want to be just out of the vision range of all of the stuff that is on the shore. That is because we are going to set up our first fob underneath one of these sets of rocks, and setting it up in this location does two things. It provides you a safe location to attack things from, because anything that may make it off of the shore to you is going to end up wet, ensuring that it is weak to frost damage, allowing you to take it down very quickly. The other thing it's going to do is ensure that it is protected from all of the stuff on the shore, because everything that is on the shore will end up on the bottom of the ocean under the water and not be able to attack your portal or your base. You put it behind the rocks to ensure that it is difficult for any archers that may be standing on the shore or just in the water a little bit on the shore before they sink down to shoot your base. And trust me, these archers do an insane amount of damage. The volley archers will destroy your boat faster than a bone maw serpent. They will also destroy your base just as fast. I tested a bunch of different scenarios for setting up a fob, and this is by far the easiest and works the best. So once you have found the right location, what you want to do is park your boat, jump off onto the pillars of rocks, and then get as low as you can on the pillars of rocks and start to hollow out the back side of them. Next, you want to raise the ground up, which is why I suggested bringing a bunch of stone. So you want to raise the ground up enough that you can create a decent sized platform, just large enough to place a portal on. Once you have done that, you want to build a wall around it and a ceiling on it. I advise building it all out of stone and secure it. None of this should be a problem, and you should be able to use the stone that you got from knocking down the pillar to build the base with. Next, you want to go to the front side of the pillars and you want to raise multiple little platforms leading to the shore. This is because you cannot spend too long in the water or you will die because the water is boiling. So this allows you essentially stepping stones to jump on if you do die to get back to the shore to get your body. The other thing this allows you to do is kite stuff from from the shore into the water, it cannot jump up onto those platforms once you get deep into the water, and you can easily kill everything from the shore in the water. Now that you have a foothold in the Ashlands, it's time to do a little bit more preparation. The first thing you want to do is ensure that you have a workbench placed on or close to the little outpost that you just made. This is going to help to ensure that no serpents spawn close by and attack it. This is rare, but it can happen. For the next part of your journey, you're going to need enough wood for 2 crafting benches, and you're going to need the resources for the stonecutter's bench, which you should already have in your boat. You're also going to need the resources for 2 additional portals, which you should also have in your boat. Last but not least, you want a single stack of stone. Once you have all of this stuff, you are now ready to go hunting for your permanent Ashlands home. Just like the permanent home you can find for your Valheim server from this video sponsor, 𝐺-Portal. Dive into top-tier gaming with 𝐺-Portal. Fast, reliable, and ready for action. Experience instant setup, 24/7 support, and unbeatable performance. Join 𝐺-Portal today by clicking my link down in the description for 10% off your first month. What you are going to be looking for is a fortress. As you can see on the map here, there are a ton of these. One of the many reasons I had you sail towards the center of the map is that you can see they are mainly clustered on the large center mass of land. You will know you found one when you see a giant green light in the sky. I highly advise taking your time to kill anything that you run into. Angry creatures are very dense in this entire area, and you can get overwhelmed extremely easy. So as soon as you see something, just attack it. Remember to always keep your protection bubble up and that the Staff of Frost is your friend. Once you see a fortress in the distance, you do not want to just run up on it. You want to get relatively close to it, but stay far enough away from it that turrets cannot shoot you, because this thing will have turrets on the top of it. A safe bet is just inside of render range. Then you want to ensure that you are safe, so kill anything that you can see that's in the immediate area. Now you're going to place down a workbench and you're going to swap to the hoe, and you're going to build the ground up directly underneath of you 3 times. It doesn't need to be too high. We're just making a small area in which we can place a portal. Essentially what we're going to do is build up a 2x2 area and just do what you see me doing here on the screen. Once you have it all done, you are going to move towards a corner and you are going to look towards the center with your pickaxe and dig down. Be very, very careful not to dig out the walls. Once you have done this, you want to place down your portal, and then you go outside, break your workbench, and place it in the hole as well. You should have enough room for both. Then on the outside, place your stonecutter's workbench, then just place a small cap on top of the little structure that you just made. This will protect your portal from pretty much everything that can spawn in the Ashlands except for the lava blobs, because if they explode, they will damage through the wall that you just made. So if you see any of them, kite them away from it before you fight them. Now, if anything goes wrong when you are taking this fortress, you can spawn right back next to it. Next, you want to break down your stonecutter's workbench because we are going to need it closer to the fortress. Now you want to clear your way to the fortress to the point that you can see the corners of the fortress and see if there is a turret there. If there is a turret, you need to take that turret out before we can continue. It is really easy to take these out. Just swap to the Staff of Embers and blow up the corner that you see these turrets at. Once you are no longer under any type of threat and you've cleared everything out around the fortress and you've given yourself room to work and you've taken out the turrets, now what you want to do is gather up some of the stone that spawns in this location because we are going to build in it. Then you want to place down a workbench and the stonecutter's workbench, and you're going to just use the stairs, then build your way up to the edge of the fortress. You can leave a bit of a gap. You just need to get up high so that we can see down inside the fortress. I want you to take a look here at this to see how a fortress is laid out. You have the turrets at the 4 corners. They don't always spawn at every single corner. It seems to be random, but they only spawn in the corners. Then you have these things here. These spawn the skeletons inside. You need to take these out. You can do all of this with the Staff of Embers from the height that you just built up next to the fortress. Just use the Staff of Embers to lob bombs down inside of it and lob them in the corners in order to blow up any turrets. Once you have taken out the spawners, you can then proceed to clearing out any additional chard that are inside. The fortress is covered in spikes, but where there are flags, you can safely jump onto without taking any damage. You can use this to jump onto and inside of the fortress and attack, and if you start to get overwhelmed, you can just jump back out to the little platform or stairs you have created. Taking a fortress fortress like this is extremely easy to do. All you have to do is ensure that you take your time and you don't rush anything. You are safe as long as you have your bubble on you and you follow the steps that I've told you to follow. And if anything goes bad, you should have a portal very close by which you can easily just jump back into, grab your body, and continue your assault. Once you have taken the fortress, then you want to place a portal inside its walls, as well as a couple of workbenches in order to ensure that nothing spawns inside of it. Nothing should spawn if you've destroyed the spawners, but it's better to be safe than sorry. In the center of the fortress is a large column. We are going to move our portal inside this large column. This is going to ensure that the portal stays extra safe. What I like to do is, now that we already have a portal inside of the fortress, is go back out and grab the other portal that we left out there. Then you just want to dig a hole underneath this center column, just a nice little tiny hole, just big enough to slip up underneath of it. Then you place your portal there. This will ensure that your portal is extra safe from any type of other nonsense that could happen here because it is a covered location. Nothing can destroy this center wall or the outer walls except for you if you build some type of siege engine. It's literally immune to anything else that the game has to throw at it. Now, if you're worried about how to get in and out of this base, I highly advise just building a portal on the outside and portaling in and out. You should already have 2 portals in there. Just go back to your base, grab the stuff for another portal, and then just set it on the outside. I usually label them in and out. This allows you to just portal in and out of the base. The other thing that you can do is build stairs leading down from the top, and don't connect them all the way to the ground, and just place a couple of workbenches around the outside. Now, keep in mind that all of this stuff that you're building on the outside of the base can get destroyed, but everything that you're building inside the base should be safe. From there, you can level the ground out and then just cap it with some stone, and it should be completely fine. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Hopefully you found this video helpful and informational. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other Valheim videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.